at 6:30, according to my clock here. The Girdwood Board of Supervisors, sorry, are you recording, Kyle?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, excellent. The Girdwood Board of Supervisors, its committees and subcommittees are subject to the Alaska Open Meetings Act as found in Alaska Statute 44.62.310 and Anchorage Municipal Code 1.25 Public Meetings. Roll call. Mike Edgington, Co-Chair and Land Use Supervisor.
Jerry Fox, Co-Chair in Public Safety and Parks and Rec and Cemetery.
James Glover, Roads and Utilities.
Aaron Boone, Fire Department.
Brianna, do you want to? Looks like you're on mute, Brianna. Do you want to introduce yourself, Brianna?
Yes.
There we go. Good. We can hear you now.
Okay. It's spinning. The wheel is spinning. For the video.
We can hear you at least.
Yeah. Thank you. Took a minute to log in today.
Just introduce yourself.
Brianna Sullivan, CE.
Excellent. Disclosures. I don't think we have any disclosures on this. I don't see any members of the public, and we're going to go through these announcements in the next meeting anyway. So I'm going to skip announcements and jump straight to the agenda. Sorry, before I do that, let's approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Should we roll call, actually? Let's do a roll call. Kyle.
Roll call. Jerry Fox.
Aye, yes.
Brianna Sullivan.
Yes.
James Glover.
Yes.
Aaron Boone.
Yes.
And Mike Edgington.
Yes.
Passes 5-0.
Okay, I was obviously too early. I'll go through the announcements since we have other people on. Public is encouraged to ask questions or provide comment. Please raise your hand virtually or use the chat box in Zoom. Wait to be acknowledged. GBOS 2021 budget meeting dates are scheduled as follows. The second budget meeting is 28th of July, 7 to 9. Third budget meeting is August the 5th, 12 to 2 p.m. And the grants presentation is on September the 15th, 7 to 9. We have a quarterly meeting between the municipality and GBOS next Monday, July 27th at 4 p.m. via Teams. Windy Corner Virtual Open Public Forum meeting is scheduled for July the 30th at 5 p.m. via teleconference. Visit the project website for more info and to review documents at windycorner.info. The public review draft of the local landmark register ordinance is available for public review and comment through August 31st and can be found on the Muni website as described in our agenda. Item 1, agenda, discuss GBOS area of responsibility and determine who will serve as GBOS liaisons for public safety, fire department, roads and utilities, land use, and parks and rec cemetery. Any general comments first? Anybody who's either enjoyed themselves or hated it? I've enjoyed myself.
There you go.
And only very occasionally hated it.
Well, I have, I know that since I'm the newest person, that I'm at the bottom of the totem pole, so I'm okay with if anyone needs to move positions or something that's their choice, and I'm okay with whatever is decided.
Yeah, I guess I would say something, Mike. I think it's good for people to move around a little bit, just to know, get expertise in the different areas. So when we vote on issues in that area, as time progresses, you know a little bit more about it, rather than stay in the same place for the entire term. Now, the advantage to staying in the same place is you get good at it. Like, you have with land use, you've become very experienced and you've been very good at it.
Yeah, so actually before I did land use, I was on 2 different positions. So this is actually my 3rd, even though I've been doing it for a long while.
Yeah, so
So does anybody have a particular preference for a position?
let me ask Kyle something. Kyle, you know, the easiest one is roads and utilities. But this year there's a contract. Do you need somebody to kind of, is that going to be more challenging this year with a contract?
Well, it just depends on how it goes. You know, the last round we definitely had a low bidder that didn't work out, and we had to go through the process of going to the next bidder. So, but at that point, it was more just me running everything by the supervisor and the supervisors in general. I think that became a full board issue, and just parlaying them all the information and making sure I was on the right pace for what the community wanted. So, so yes, will be a contract year, but I think it'll be similar to what we've been through in the past.
Which means you do most of the work and there really isn't a lot of work for a supervisor.
No, it's just mostly being advisory, and you know, sometimes we may need support from the supervisor as we're going through things, just to make sure we have reassurance from the board.
Yeah.
And Kyle, what is the timeline again for getting that contract in place?
Well, I'm hoping by next week we have everything wrapped up on the details with the equipment list and the proposal language for going out to bid, and then I'll get it going in the first part of August. And I'm hoping it's bidding by the end of August so that we know by early September who our bidders are, and we can start the process on inspection. And then by mid-September to late September, confirming the contract and having it in place for starting in November.
Okay.
Well, I would be willing to do roads and utilities. I would be willing to do land use. Either one of those. I'd be willing to do Parks and Rec. I've done every one of the 5 things. Mike, do you have a preference?
I would like to stay land use for 1 more year, but then I will not do it any longer. I'd really like to get to most of the way through the area plan work. And I think that's going to require some shepherding. I hope that's this year, in the next 12 months. So unless anybody has a burning desire to do it, and or would rather I didn't, either good reasons.
Well, I was interested in, since this is the last year of my term, I believe, I haven't done police or public safety or land use. So I was kind of interested in doing one of those 2. I'm doing fire department now, and they could have a lot going on with the contract negotiations, although that hasn't really ramped up yet. I also, for the next couple months, I have a lot of, my work schedule is really busy. So at least for the next couple of months, I won't have a lot of time to dedicate to this. I mean, besides our normal meetings, I can do a little bit more, but that's kind of where I am.
Any thoughts, James?
I just wanted to pipe up and say that I'm a little I'm interested in all of the positions, but I'm a little reluctant. As you guys all must know, I'm pretty busy, and I want to take on more, but I'm afraid that given my history with just the roads and utilities as it has been, I would be a little afraid of some of those larger roles as you, Jerry, and you know, with the public safety, and then with the land use, you know, I think that's just a little too much for me at this moment. But next year, I hope to be a little less busy, so maybe at that time. And I'm not sure what the Parks and Recs, what the workload is there, but I mean, I guess I'm offering, you know, if you guys think it would be good to switch around, I'm open to that.
What we normally do is try and achieve consensus.
I see.
And then we default to the oldest and most wizened first, which would be Jerry in this case, and then Aaron, then me. So it doesn't obviously follow that pattern exactly.
Well, I feel thus far I haven't been very helpful in taking up extra work. So, you know, I do want to toe the line. So that's all I can say with that. Yeah. So I'm open to any suggestions. But I have been able to manage the roads and utilities, as Kyle said. There's not much to it other than I've had to manage a few emails through the residents, you know, coming to me for, you know, question and answer, which Kyle has actually helped with as well. And then, you know, approving the invoices every month.
I'll ask a
Thanks,
question
James.
for Brianna.
Mhm.
Do you feel like you would like to kind of get into an easier role to start? Or are you willing to just jump in, and do you have time?
Well, I do have time. I don't want to do, I don't have an easy answer for that, but I did kind of assume at first that the Parks and Rec position was available, and that does interest me. And I'm out there when I'm not really paying attention to Parks and Rec, but I'm willing to put in some work to get, kind of like when you're on a board and you're the secretary, you do a lot of things at once and try to have all ears open and take notes. I don't have a clue what's really happening with cemetery except from meetings I've attended, but I'm open.
Well, not much is happening in cemetery. You know, I've talked with Aaron about this, Mike, and one of the issues is the fire department kind of needs a board member to help them.
Right.
And neither Aaron or I want to do it.
Okay.
Is that correct, Aaron?
Well, I mean, I will do it, but I guess I kind of want to do something different, but I will if I have to. And I mean, I want to see them, of course, it's an important service in our community. So I want to see it, you know, the contract get pushed through and get the amount of money we need. But if someone else is willing to do it, I'd be happy to turn it over too.
And you don't feel like a new person's lack of experience, like the last several months you worked with it, would be okay to start off, perhaps, without a background?
Well, it definitely took me some time to come up to speed. I still feel like Jerry knows more about it than I do. But I mean, if you have time to put in to read through like what, you know, past minutes and what they've been through, and talk to Kyle quite a bit, I think you could come up to speed. I don't know. What do you think, Jerry? Being new to the board is like another extra element, because just learning like how the processes work might be another challenge too. But
Right. Thank you.
You know, and what I'd say to that also is, you know, you, Aaron, and I, if Brianna wanted to do it, we could help the two of us. I'm not going to say that I would be they're, you know, every board meeting, but what they have quarterly board meetings, Brianna, and the contract negotiations have been going on, and we've given the municipality a number, and so now it's kind of just the whole board working on it. I don't know how many more like negotiations there are going to be, Aaron. Do you? Like meetings?
No, I don't know. There've been a few more fire board meetings lately because they're transitioning. They just had an election, so 2 new board members are coming on, and they're also trying to get their bylaws in order. So they've had a few more meetings lately, but I haven't heard anything about what the negotiations will look like or how that will work. I don't know if Kyle has any more insight on that.
Yeah, I think at this point, the contract negotiations with the municipality for the EMS services and the fire services, I think it's going to be a GBOS board-wide issue. I feel like right now it's the time to push. A number's been given to them. Michelle's indicating that they're stalling out because the leadership in AFD don't feel it's a priority issue right now, and so it's going to become an administrative issue with Bill Palsy, and I think the GBOS needs to push the have that negotiation continue with the nonprofit in that aspect. I know that both of you are busy and you probably don't want to continue on with it, but just for a sense of consistency, at least to either get through and finalize this contract or have this contract stall out and it looks like it's never going to go anywhere, at least some sort of conclusion. It'd be nice to have people in there who have the experience and have sat in those meetings and kind of understand what's going on just for it, you know. And so if Brianna came in, I would really want one of you to still attend with her just to help, because you have a voice, you understand the frustrations, you understand what was trying to be accomplished. And I think at this point, it's going to become a political level. It's just like I've learned with GBOS and the crosswalk out here, it's going to be a political warrant that's going to push through this final stage. So that's just my point of view on it, and I think that's something that I would recommend.
Okay. Well, I'm willing to stay on with that for consistency's sake, and if I want to do the other 2, land use and public safety, I guess I'll have to run again.
Or maybe nobody else will run and you'll be stuck there.
That could happen, yeah.
You'll still have seniority, Aaron.
True, I'll get to pick.
I was just going to say, we're in this weird position with the fire contract. If we're not the vendor, the contracting body, yet we probably have a very close alliance to them. We're really the checkbook holder. So we're paying for it, but the contract isn't actually directly, we're not a party directly to the contract.
I will also say, I just, I recognize that I'm not as good at those political conversations as some other people might be. So, I mean, I can speak for the community, but as far as, I don't know, I feel like Jerry is better than, Jerry and Mike probably better than me. But I don't know how many of those conversations there will actually be.
Yeah, and as Kyle said, it'd be a whole board conversation really with the community. It won't be just you.
Mm-hmm.
And my point with the whole board is just to keep things moving so we can go somewhere, and you don't have to argue for their number or what they presented, but I'm afraid things are just going to stall out, right. and then we're just continue to have this discussion forever. So.
Okay, I have a suggestion. If you're willing to do that, Aaron. James, what about public safety for you? And here's the reason why. It's a quarterly meeting once a quarter. So once every 3 months you have a public safety action committee meeting, but there's no contract coming up. It won't take a tremendous amount of time other than that meeting. Wouldn't you agree with that, Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And-
okay with that if it furthers your cause, if it furthers the cause of the GBOS, then I'm willing to do that.
And then, good.
And do you see a role for yourself in roads and utilities, Jerry?
Yes, and then Brianna could do Parks and Rec.
That's right. I think that's a good conclusion. That it works for nearly everybody except maybe Aaron.
Sorry, Aaron. I'll help, I promise.
I know you will, Jerry. Thanks.
All right.
Okay. Should we? I would like to. I would entertain a motion for those roles. I don't think we have to vote on it, but let's just vote on it for the record.
I would make a motion for the GBOS roles for the following year to have myself as roads and utilities, Mike Edgington as land use, Brianna Sullivan as Parks and Rec, James Glover as police, and Aaron Boone as fire department.
Do I hear a second?
I second the motion.
Thanks, James. Roll call vote, Kyle.
Brianna Sullivan,
Yes.
James Glover,
Yes.
Jerry Fox,
Yes.
Aaron Boone,
Yes.
Mike Edgington.
No. Yes.
Passes 5-0.
Okay. Discuss and determine co-chairs for GBOS. Well, I will say I've done it for 1 year and it's been actually more fun than I expected. And I've learned a lot from it. So I would like to nominate myself for next year.
And I don't mind doing it again. And I would volunteer to do it again also, but if somebody else wanted to do it, I would be happy not doing it. My term is up next year also, and at this time, I do not believe I will run again. Things may change, nobody may run, and I may change my mind, but right now, I'm not planning to run again. So it might be good for somebody else to be chair, but again, that takes more time because, you know, especially when you first start as chair, for me at least, I had to prep a little bit before the GBOS meetings so that I wasn't fumbling around.
Yes, I think the implication is some people don't prep and do fumble around, in which case I plead guilty. But
No, I don't think so.
I'm joking with you, Jerry.
The person that never prepped was Sam Daniel.
Sam didn't
I
need
always
to.
thought he was the best.
Yeah, Sam didn't need to. He had a natural ability.
Yeah. I don't have that ability that Sam has, so.
Does anybody else have any thoughts or comments who would like to do it this year?
I would be happy if you guys wanted to keep doing it or anyone else, just because of my workload in the next couple of months. It would be tough for me to take that on. And I'm like Jerry, I feel like I would need to prepare quite a bit before the meeting. So yeah, I'm happy with you guys continuing.
Okay, so I'll entertain a sorry, James.
I was just going to say, I don't think I'm prepared for that role at this time. So I would appreciate it if you guys would continue, and I can size up what it would look like for me to step into that role. I can perform public speaking and have done it before, but not so sure I'm ready to start tomorrow, in other words.
Well, it might be starting in 5 minutes, actually.
Exactly.
6 minutes. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for Mike Edgington and Jerry Fox to be co-chair for the following year.
I second.
I think that was
Okay,
Brianna
roll
got in
call.
first. Yeah,
Mike
roll call,
Edgington,
please. Yes.
Aaron Boone,
Yes.
Jerry Fox,
Yes.
James Glover,
Yes.
Brianna Sullivan.
Yes.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you. We have a formal public comment session. Persons offering public comment must state their full name and address. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes per person and must be on subjects not listed on the agenda. I don't anticipate anything, but now is the opportunity. I'm not seeing any hands or hearing any comments, so we will move to, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Can I ask well, maybe I should wait till after we adjourn. I have a question for Mike or Jerry about our next meeting. I have something I need to disclose.
Okay, we could do that at the beginning of the, in the disclosure session at the beginning of the next meeting.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, for those in the audience, we will be closing this meeting and you need to go to the link for the regular meeting, which is on the regular agenda for the meeting. It starts at 7.
So again, I think we'll, I haven't heard a motion to adjourn, but I'm sure I'm about to any second now.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Yep, we'll do it by assent. All in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
See you in the next meeting.
See you on the other link.